Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a serious topic, the top 10 least safest countries in the world for 2024. Now, before you grab your passports and start booking your must-avoid vacations, let me assure you, this isn't about fear-mongering. This is about understanding the realities many people face daily and hopefully sparking a conversation about how to make the world a slightly less terrifying place. So, buckle up as we unpack the complexities, the nuances, and yes, the tragedies that have landed these nations on this unfortunate list. Stay tuned to find out which countries made the list and why. Let's start with Afghanistan, a nation that's been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons for decades. Since the Taliban took control in 2021, the situation has become increasingly dire. Imagine living in a country where going to school or even just walking down the street could put your life at risk. That's the reality for millions of Afghans living under constant threat from violence, oppression, and a humanitarian crisis that seems to have no end in sight. The statistics paint a grim picture: widespread human rights violations, targeted killings, and a crippled economy. It's a complex situation with no easy answers, but it's crucial to shed light on the plight of ordinary Afghans caught in the crossfire. These aren't just headlines, these are human lives hanging in the balance. Our next stop takes us to Syria, a nation synonymous with a brutal civil war. Imagine a country where hospitals are bombed, children denied education, and millions forced to flee. The Syrian conflict is a horrific tapestry of political turmoil, sectarian violence, and foreign intervention. The result? A humanitarian catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. The world has seen the heartbreaking images of bombed-out cities and injured children. We owe it to the Syrian people to remember their suffering and demand accountability. Moving on to South Sudan, a nation birthed from hope but grappling with the growing pains of internal conflict. Imagine a country where access to basic necessities like food, water, and healthcare is a daily struggle, where violence can erupt without warning, and where millions live in constant fear of displacement. Since gaining independence in 2011, South Sudan has been plagued by civil war, fueled by ethnic tensions and a power struggle within the government. The result? A devastating humanitarian crisis, with millions facing starvation and displacement. Children are particularly vulnerable in this volatile environment, often recruited as child soldiers or forced to flee their homes, their education and childhoods ripped away. The international community has a responsibility to support South Sudan in its quest for peace and stability. This means providing humanitarian aid, holding perpetrators of violence accountable, and working towards a sustainable solution to the conflict. Chapter 4. Next, we arrive in Yemen, a nation teetering on the brink of collapse. Imagine a country where bombs rain down on innocent civilians, where hospitals and schools are deemed legitimate targets, and where millions face the very real threat of starvation. Yemen has become a tragic example of how quickly a nation can descend into chaos, fueled by a complex web of internal conflict, regional power struggles, and a devastating humanitarian crisis. The statistics are staggering: millions on the brink of famine, a healthcare system in shambles, and a generation of children robbed of their childhoods. The world cannot stand idly by as Yemen starves. We need a ceasefire, we need humanitarian access, and we need a concerted effort to address the root causes of this conflict before it's too late. Chapter 5. Iraq, a nation struggling to rebuild after decades of conflict and instability. Imagine a country where the threat of terrorism casts a long shadow. Iraq has been on a tumultuous journey, marked by invasion and sectarian violence. While progress has been made, the scars of conflict run deep, from the ongoing threat posed by ISIS to deep-seated corruption. millions of Iraqis are simply trying to rebuild their lives. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit. Chapter 6. Our journey takes us to Somalia, a nation grappling with numerous challenges. Terrorism, piracy, and the absence of a strong central government have created a volatile environment. Decades of civil war, drought, and famine have plagued Somalia. Extremism and lawlessness thrive without a functioning government. The international community must support Somalia's rebuilding efforts. The road ahead is long, requiring tangible action and unwavering support. Chapter 7. We now arrive in the Central African Republic, a nation ravaged by internal conflict and struggling to break free from the grip of violence. Imagine a country where armed groups terrorize civilians with impunity, where access to basic necessities is a luxury, and where the cycle of violence seems endless. The Central African Republic is a stark reminder that peace is a fragile thing, easily shattered by ethnic tensions, religious intolerance, and the pursuit of power. The conflict has created a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions, with millions displaced from their homes and struggling to survive. The international community cannot afford to turn a blind eye to the plight of the Central African Republic. We need to support peacekeeping efforts, provide humanitarian assistance, and work towards a lasting solution to the conflict that addresses the root causes of this crisis. Next, we find ourselves in Libya, a nation grappling with the legacy of revolution and the challenges of forging a new path forward. Imagine a country where rival factions vie for control, where armed militias hold significant power, and where the rule of law is tenuous at best. Libya's journey since the 2011 revolution has been fraught with challenges. The overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi left a power vacuum that various factions have been vying to fill, leading to a chaotic and often violent struggle for control. This instability has had a devastating impact on the Libyan people, with many caught in the crossfire and struggling to rebuild their lives. The international community must support Libya's transition to a stable and democratic state. This requires a multi-pronged approach that includes promoting dialogue between rival factions, providing humanitarian assistance, and assisting with security sector reform. Our penultimate stop takes us to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a nation blessed with abundant natural resources but cursed by conflict and exploitation. Armed groups operate with impunity, violence against civilians is rampant, and millions have been displaced. The DRC is a heartbreaking example of how the pursuit of wealth and power can devastate a nation. The international community must address the root causes of the conflict, including illegal exploitation of resources. We cannot allow this cycle of violence and suffering to continue. Finally, we arrive in Venezuela, a nation grappling with a political and economic crisis that has pushed it to the brink. Imagine a country where hyperinflation has rendered the currency practically worthless, where basic goods are scarce and where crime is rampant. Venezuela was once a prosperous nation, but years of economic mismanagement, corruption, and political repression have taken a devastating toll. The once vibrant economy has collapsed, leaving millions struggling to afford basic necessities. The healthcare system is in shambles, and crime rates have skyrocketed as desperation grows. The situation in Venezuela is a complex one, with no easy solutions. However, the international community must stand in solidarity with the Venezuelan people, providing humanitarian assistance, supporting efforts to address the economic crisis, and encouraging a peaceful resolution to the political stalemate. Thank you for watching. We've journeyed through some of the most challenging corners of our world, bearing witness to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the challenges, to feel powerless to make a difference. But every voice raised, every act of kindness, every donation made, however small, can contribute to a brighter future. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content. Stay safe and see you in the next video.